not Mini Geek Girl, because that's someone who does anime, and last week everybody got confused. So it's Mini Girl Geek. Okay. So how did I get interested in programming? About a year ago, I attended a Manchester Girl Geek event, and it was with Manchester Science Week, and so that was held at the university. Then they brought one to Mad Lab, and so I've been coming quite regularly since then. And then they did one on Code Academy, and I went home and I carried on. So for anybody who doesn't know what Code Academy is, it's basically where you can teach yourself how to code, and you can earn badges and awards and things like that. So why do I enjoy programming? I enjoy programming because sometimes, even though it's hard, once you get over a challenge or something, or if something doesn't work for ages, it can be quite frustrating. But once you do get it right, you feel really good, and you do that happiness and stuff. It's really fun. It's cool. So I've made a project which is Conway's Game of Life, and it uses Raspberry Pi, Arduino, and then a breadboard which has an LED matrix on it. And this is a pattern it got stuck in a couple of days ago. So how did I find out about the Raspberry Pi? Mainly on Twitter. So, yeah. How did I find out about Conway's Game of Life? Every Saturday, one Sunday a month, there's a Coder Dojo, and at one of these, at Manchester Raspberry Jam, there's one once a month, and at one of these Raspberry Jams, Ben Nuttall was there, and he'd been to an event the previous day, which was a code retreat, and they'd been using test-driven development to create Conway's Game of Life in different languages. And because I was learning Python at the time, he decided to show me test-driven development to create Conway's Game of Life. But what is Conway's Game of Life? Conway's Game of Life is like a cellular simulator, and any live cell with fewer than 2 live neighbours dies as if caused by underpopulation. Any live cell with 2 or 3 live neighbours lives on to the next generation. Any live cell with more than 3 neighbours dies as if by overcrowding. And any dead cell with exactly 3 live neighbours becomes a live cell as if by reproduction. So, the first implementation, me and Ben used test-driven development to make it so as it would print out a smiley face if the cell was alive, or just a blank space if it was dead. But I can't show you the code because my laptop doesn't have an RGB plug-in, so it doesn't go on the screen, so I can't show you that. And then the second time I did it, I made it so as it would, there's a Python library called Pygame, which creates a screen and you can plot pixels and draw shapes and things. So I made it so as it would plot a purple pixel if it was alive, or a black pixel if it was dead. And then the third time I did it, I made it so as it would draw a circle, and those circles go through the different colours of the rainbow. So it's constantly changing, so it converts, because you have to tell it an RGB value, it converts, you add 1 to the HSV, and then you convert that using another Python library into RGB. And then I used an Arduino to light up an LED matrix, and there's a Raspberry Pi which runs the Python code, and then it sends a binary message to the Arduino, which then works out how to tell the LED matrix what to light up. So if a cell is alive, it will send a binary message. So either 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. But this is the video. So this is this is a video of what it looks like when it's working. So this is the forever loop that it got stuck in. I think this is, no, that's not. So to improve upon this project, what I want to do is I want to add buttons to it so as you can choose, because at the moment it's completely random, but that's not really what that's not what's interesting about it. It's like when you set up particular patterns, there's like really interesting things that you can do. So if I go on to Wikipedia, there's a really cool one. So these are like gliders, and so this is like a gun and it produces a glider and glides and down it. And then this is an amazing one. So it like starts off here and it like moves across, and it produces these guns which then shoot these up. So like mine is completely totally random, but these ones are obviously ones that have been designed to create amazing patterns. So I want to use buttons so as you can set up the initial pattern, or maybe if you have it on the screen, what I'm currently working with is that when you click on the screen that it produces, it will put a circle there. So then I'm going to get that to store it into the grid, so if you click on it and it turns red, then it will be alive. If you click on it again, it goes black. So then it will set up on that pattern, so then you can decide the initial pattern instead of it being randomized. And then after that, what I'm trying to do downstairs currently is what I was going to have working today was something using an Arduino rather than a Raspberry Pi, which will wave whenever something tweets. So I've got it waving before, and it waved whenever someone said hi, so it was like to wave back kind of thing. And I was going to have it so every time someone tweeted hashtag Bracamp, it would wave, but it's kind of a bit broken at the moment. So I've been trying to fix that downstairs, but I didn't get it fixed in time. But it's got Bracamp t-shirt on it and it looks cool. It was laser cut next door at Hackman. And also, is it Owenman? Yeah. Had an idea which was to get a whole school involved, because lots of girls, I go to an all-girls school, and lots of girls, they don't think that programming is interesting. They don't know what it is. They think of ICT lessons, and ICT lessons at the moment are quite bad. Like, it's like learning how to use a PowerPoint, learning how to write a Word document, and nobody, after doing that for like 10 years, finds it very, very boring. I mean, people need to know that stuff, but they don't need to spend 10 years learning it. So I want to like show, if you got an entire school involved in a project, and show that it's not all about Word and PowerPoint, then that would be great. So you could have like the art department and the tech department designing it, you could have the resistant materials building it, you can have the business studies students, they could be marketing it, making it into a product. You could have the people who are interested in programming it, writing code. You could, and the maths people like writing logic if logic was needed for it. And you'd make a project that would improve school life, and it would improve the school community. So I thought that would be quite interesting, and I want to start that in schools. So it could be like an after-school club, and I thought that was a really great idea. So I want to try and do that in schools. So yeah, and then this is the Raspberry Pi logo, and it's got comments and everything. Does anybody have any questions about anything?
I think it's interesting what you said about getting younger children more involved in programming from an earlier age, because there's something called Code Club, which I'm not sure.
My brother teaches when it's primary school, but I think it's a bit late for children at my school, and it's mainly scratch based, and you do that in ICT lessons anyway. So that's one good thing that the ICT lessons teach you. But then they teach you things like Dreamweaver, and Dreamweaver is not that great. It's better to teach someone HTML, because like Dreamweaver, it like puts all sorts of kind of weird things in it, and it doesn't. And you have to base it on a table and stuff. So like, if you actually taught them HTML, they could do a lot more. It'd be a lot more useful, and like, it actually gets them to think instead of like pressing buttons and stuff. So yeah.
So what are the things that you learned here, apart from you're teaching? You're saying that Dreamweaver is a bit rubbish at the moment. What other things have you done that you find is rubbish? Go on, be honest.
The present is useful. They taught you present.
They taught me Prezi, which is useful, but they won't give me. This is Prezi, but they won't let me have a computer in GCSE, and they are not promoting schools. Like there's going to be a Raspberry Jam at Mozzie on Monday, and my school was invited to take 5 girls to like show them it was going to be a Raspberry Jam, and Ben was helping to do that, and they wouldn't let. And they said it was too short notice, they'd have to give them a year's notice if they were to be able to take any girls. It's like, what? It's crazy! So I can't go to that and stuff. And
It's crazy. It's really crazy.
yeah, they say, oh yeah, we want to get some ambassadors in school. They haven't done anything. Then, yeah, it's a bit mad.
Do you think they need to be training teachers up so that they know what the latest things are? They know about things like Raspberry.
I think that would definitely help. One of my teachers, who's my physics teacher, not my ICT teacher, he teaches me astronomy, he helps me with my programming, and he teaches me physics. He's probably one of the only teachers in school, apart from a female teacher who's new to the school this year, called Ms. Roz, and she's done an app club, but that's only for the year 7s, so that's good. But like between them, those two are probably the only teachers who have any knowledge about programming, and I think that needs to change, especially in my school, because it's like meant to be the 6th best in the country. It's a training school. It teaches other schools. Yet it's not setting a great example in the fact that it doesn't encourage girls into programming.
Can you come and do a talk at my school? I'm not starting to go, yeah.
Can you talk to the staff?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, come to my school, I'll tell you what.
Any more questions?
Yeah, in relation to your frustration in not being able to do the things that you want to do at school, I completely understand that. But sometimes it's difficult to change the system that you're working in. And there's lots of developers who the programming they do in their jobs is not what they enjoy. They do it because they have to. And the things they do enjoy is their coding in their own time. So people do proprietary coding in the daytime and open source coding at night. It's the open source coding they really enjoy. So that is a possibility rather than trying to change the system.
Well, what I'm doing is I'm going to take product design as a GCSE instead of computing, because I can put Arduinos and Raspberry Pis in that. So then, and then that's also creating a way that you can actually make a product that's going to be useful. So in MIT, they created a camera which exaggerates movement, so they can tell when a baby. So you know when premature babies are born, they generally have to put loads of equipment on it, and that's not necessarily good for the baby. What they can now do is what they're developing in MIT is there's a camera, and from that camera, just from recording this baby, they can measure its pulse rate and things, which is a great alternative to putting all this heavy equipment on it. So that's putting programming to a great use. And like Catherine, who does swim peak things, he was saying that most programmers, like when they're kind of used to being in a room where it's all other programmers, and they're just kind of hiding in like a shell and just sat at the computers for hours on end. Whereas if you take product design, then you can make sure that it's going to be useful and you can see what people want instead of creating it for you, kind of thing. So you make it for the public instead of selfish purposes.
Yeah, I've known you for a couple of years or so, but I've only ever known you as this person, this programming genius. So I don't really know what you were like before. interested in, and did you have any idea what you wanted to do when you grew up?
I like maths, and from a very young age I always wanted to be an astronaut. Because on the Tweenies there was a spaceman song and I used to sing along to it, and I had a little like astronaut thing, and I always aspired to be an astronaut. I'm not too sure about becoming an astronaut anymore, but I'm still definitely interested in astronomy. I also love maths, and I've attended like weekend courses on A-level maths and stuff when I was younger and things. And I love sciences, which is where I got into programming because I went to Magical Geek events. And I love the arty things, I like being crafty and stuff. So. And you?
When you cancel out something straight away, what keeps you going? Are you frustrated that something doesn't work?
I kind of like step back from it, and I go away and I kind of calm down from being frustrated about it. And then I come to Mad Lab and I ask people about it. So there's people like Ben, there's people like Sam, who's one of the girls who's running it, there's people like Katie, who are all very willing to help, and there's people at Hackman next door who are very nice as well, and they're very patient and things. And so, but I love the feeling that you get once you've solved something, once you've completed something, and like even if it can get very frustrating, I love the feeling of how happy you feel once you finish, and that's what keeps me going. And also the fact that what I'm trying to do, I think personally is quite cool, so I kind of like want that cool thing to be finished. And somebody else?
Would you say that most of the girls, because you said you were from all girls school, would you say that most of the girls that you are friends with love that kind of challenge as well, but perhaps in direction in a different way because of opportunity?
Yeah, it is a grammar school, so everybody who's there is perfectly capable. They got here through an entrance exam and stuff, so some of them choose the challenge of sport, and like some girls, but most of them, they like use things like Tumblr and things, and although they don't know it, they're like using programming for that. Like they come in school and say, oh, I've researched this piece of HTML and I put that into my Tumblr blog. But when I try and get them to come to these events, they're like, oh, that sounds really boring. When I show them like the pieces of code that I've done, they go, oh, that's scary. I can't do that. I'm stupid. I can't do that and stuff. But they can. And I've managed to convince one girl to come with me tomorrow. She came up to me, we were at a Connections interview, because we wanted to know about business studies, and we were talking to this Connections interview person. And she was there, and she was like, do you know where I can learn programming? And I just went to her, why didn't you talk to me? Like, I do all these things, and I can take you to all the events that I go to, and I can show you, because everybody really is very keen to get people, children my age, involved. And I think that maybe if we're going to get more kids involved, we need to include social media, because that's what everybody my age is obsessed with. They're constantly on Facebook, they're constantly on Twitter, on Ask4Fem, on all kinds of social, on Tumblr, they have Tumblr blogs. And if we incorporate this, we can probably get them more involved. Because when I talk about Conway's Game Life, although I find that very interesting, they probably find it really, really boring. But whereas probably the Twitter thing that I'm working on is probably more interesting for them. So if we kind of ask them what they'd like to do, like, oh, I've always really wanted to do such and such thing, and we can teach them how to do that, that would be a lot better.
Do you think there's loads of, I mean, you know, the Manchester Geeks we started out kind of not really knowing what girls are interested in, we just started running events and people turned up, so we think it works quite well. Do you, I mean, and there's lots of other, you know, you've been to loads of events for kids who are interested in coding, for girls who are interested in coding or technology, and do you think they do it right? Or when you talk to your friends at school, as you just said, oh, this sounds really boring.
I think
something is changing.
I think for the people who are already interested, it's great. But for the people who aren't interested, who don't know what it is, who think it's boring, it's not really being done the right way, because they just think it's kind of geeky, and so they're not going to do it because they've already seen it. Because although maybe in the future, once they've been introduced to it, they'll find that interesting. At the moment, they don't know what it is. They probably don't understand it, so they don't find it interesting. Oh, and lots of them think the term geek is derogative. Like when I describe myself as a geek, they're like, are you not offended by that? They think that's a derogatory term. It's not.
That's what I was just going to say, that we've had a few conversations today about the word geek and whether people want to be called a geek or not. And
I think it's quite a compliment.
yeah, I think it's a compliment, but certain people don't. And I wonder if some of the accessibility of young women into it might be is about education. If people want to use the word, is about an education about what a geek is. Because I think the result of a few conversations we've had today is that it's really broad. But I think it's used as a kind of way, maybe at school, to kind of put people down who are good at science.
Like when this girl who's going to come with me tomorrow was talking to me about what she wanted to do tomorrow. One girl said, "You want to learn to program? Haha, you can never do that." She started actually laughing at this girl, and she's meant to be that girl's best friend. And I was totally appalled that she wants to learn something new, and she was laughing at her for trying to do this.
Stop for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
You were on Women's Hour not so long ago, weren't you?
Yeah.
How many of your friends heard you on Women's Hour?
Their parents heard me.
Their parents heard you,
And
yeah.
they were like, "My mum heard you on Women's Hour,"
Yeah.
and like the teachers heard me on Women's Hour, but they didn't. Well, we were in school, so they didn't hear it, and they're not interested in tax, so they probably wouldn't listen to it.
So what do you think would be a good way to get to all your friends, get all of that kind of message to your
Well,
friends?
I ran for youth parliament, and part of my manifesto was getting girls into STEM, and I came 4th out of 30, so I'm now deputy NYP, so I'm going to try and campaign for that, and I want to do some assemblies in school and like talk to girls in my school and explain that what a geek is and how it's not derogative and what programming actually is, because people think that computing and things is the same thing. Have I run out of time?
No, Liz is not.
And so I want to explain to them what programming is, because when I say that, they think it's our ICT lessons, and our ICT lessons, our ICT teachers a bit hopeless.
So if you change the name, if we stop using the term geek and we give them a project that appeals to them,
Yeah,
would that help?
probably, yeah.
We tried this in our school, and I'm just going to talk to you about it because I think it might be quite interesting as well. We tried this in our school because we're trying to challenge the idea of the word geek being offensive. And we actually tried it, and we actually walked around and we actually said, so who could be called a geek in this school? Now, well, everybody's kind of a bit obsessive about anything. And they actually did a whole podcast, which was about 10 minutes long, basically discussing about, is the term geek offensive? And they did this, and we released it, and we launched it on iTunes and all this kind of thing to try and get them to think about exactly what they're saying. They said, well, anything can be derogatory, anything can be offensive. And we've got 2 girls and 2 boys to do this. And they weren't all high ability or anything like that, they were just saying it's term geek offensive. But you think if I did that as an assembly, that would make a difference if you think of it.
Well,
we got the kids to do it in this assembly at school.
I don't know, because some people find assembly really interesting, and other people take it as an opportunity to have a nap. It kind of depends. Like maybe if you know that they're going to pay attention. So whether that's do you have form times in your school?
Yeah, that's all.
So maybe if you did it in form times, or if you had it as part of a citizenship lesson or something, or like so they're going to pay attention. Or yeah.
Fair enough.
I think that's just a general problem, not just about the word geek, but just about being good at something which is generally considered to be uncool, but for some really, completely stupid reason. And it's really just a general problem that maybe schools don't necessarily cross that well, either because the kids who get the good grades are getting bullied for being good and being called nice, which is just
You still get that even at 16 to 19.
yeah, it's like no man, I've got good grades, I'm going to get a good job, I'm awesome, and I think it's a general problem really. It's not just about.
I got bullied at my primary school for liking maths and stuff. So
Well, you'll have the last laugh, so don't worry about that.
They'll be working for you one day.
Brilliant.
So you think it was kind of coming from that, yeah.
a video, and it's like all these people who want to be in tech. What's it called? Video. What they don't teach in school. It's coders of like programmers of the Wizards of the Future or something.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and it's like will.i.am saying, oh, I think programming is really cool. I'm going to pick it up.
You go to code.org, it's on code.org.
But what we don't need is if you go into the science school website, they've got a thing. If you go to what they're really angry about, there's a video there, and that's the worst thing you can do. It's a really bad thing. Where is it on code.org? Oh, right there. Right, yeah. Scroll down. I can't find scroll.
I was 13 when I first got access to a computer.
My parents bought me a Macintosh in 1984 when I was 8 years old.
I was in 6th grade.
I learned to code in college.
Freshman year, first semester, intro to computer science.
I wrote a program to play tic-tac-toe.
I think it was pretty humble beginnings. I think the first program I wrote asked things like, what's your favorite color? Or how old are you?
I first learned how to make a green circle and a red square appear on the screen.
The first time I actually had something come up and say, hello world, and I made a computer do that. It was just astonishing.
Learning how to program didn't start off as wanting to learn all of computer science or trying to master this discipline or anything like that. It just started off because I wanted to do this one simple thing. I wanted to make something that was fun for myself and my sisters. And I wrote this little program and then basically just add a little bit to it. And then when I needed to learn something new, I looked it up either in a book or on the internet and then added a little bit to it.
It's really not unlike kind of playing an instrument or something or playing a sport. It starts out being very intimidating, but you kind of get the hang of it over time.
Coding is something that can be learned, and I know it can be intimidating. A lot of things are intimidating, but what isn't?
A lot of the coding that people do is actually fairly simple. It's more about the process of breaking down problems than sort of coming up with complicated algorithms as people traditionally think about it.
You don't have to be a genius to know how to code. You need to be determined.
Addition, subtraction, that's about it.
You should probably know your multiplication tables.
You don't have to be a genius to code. Do you have to be a genius to read?
Even if you want to become a race car driver or play baseball or build a house, all of these things have been turned upside down by software.
What it is computers are everywhere. You want to work in agriculture? Do you want to work in entertainment? Do you want to work in manufacturing? It's just all over.
Here we are, 2013. We all depend on technology to communicate, to bank, information, and none of us know how to read and write code.
When I was in school, I was in this after-school group called the Whiz Kids. And when people found out, they laughed at me and, all these things. And I'm like, man, I don't care. I think it's cool. And, I'm learning a lot. And some of my friends have jobs.
Our policy is literally to hire as many talented engineers as we can find. The whole limit in the system is just that there just aren't enough people who are trained and have these skills today.
To get the very best people, we try to make the office as awesome as possible.
We have a fantastic chef.
Free food.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Free laundry.
Snacks. Even places to play and video games and scooters. There's all these kind of interesting things around the office and places where people can play or relax or go to think or play music or be creative.
Whether you're trying to make a lot of money or whether you just want to change the world, computer programming is an incredibly empowering skill to learn.
I think if someone had told me that
software is really about humanity, that it's really about helping people by using computer technology, it would have changed my outlook a lot earlier.
To be able to actually come up with an idea and then see it in your hands and then be able to press a button and have it be in millions of people's hands. I mean, I think we're the first generation in the world that's really ever had that kind of experience.
Just to think that, I mean, you can start something in your college dorm room and you can have a set of people who haven't built a big company before come together and build something that 1 billion people use as part of their daily lives is just crazy to think about, right? It's humbling and it's amazing.
The programmers of tomorrow are the wizards of the future. You know, you're going to look like you have magic powers compared to everybody else.
I think it's amazing. I think it's the closest thing we have to a superpower.
Great coders are today's rock stars. That's it.
Thank you very much, Amy.